Well, our Europe editor, Armen Georgian's with us now for some analysis. And Armen, you were here in the studios till late last night crunching the numbers. So how would you sum up the picture across the EU this morning?
Well, a shift to the right, obviously, Nadia, but still the political centre has held in the European Parliament. There's still more or less a majority for continuing the kind of direction of travel from the last Parliament. But I think we also have to look at the impact of this European election on national capital, because it's really shifted things, most notably in France, where we now have the governing party and the president almost in crisis mode, it seems, with this call for new elections in the light of the results in the next few weeks. But also, if we go to Germany, we see a much more fragile position for Olaf Scholz, the chancellor, because of the rise of the far-right Alternative for Germany, and also the strong showing by his political opponents on the right, the CDU, CSU. In Madrid as well, clearly pressure mounting on Pedro Sanchez, the socialists, as the conservatives confirm their ascendancy from last year's national elections, where they got the most number of seats of any one party. And we see also, in the light of the election, the European election outcomes, centrist coalitions in Denmark and in Estonia losing ground and looking less strong than they were. So I think we have to not forget the impact on the mood and the sort of dynamic in the member states as well.
Okay, so overall, far-right parties doing well, a shift to the far right, but as Ursula von der Leyen said, the centre is holding.
Yeah, I mean, when we say actually the Identity and Democracy group didn't have such a big swing as some pollsters said.
This is the Marine Le Pen's bloc.
Right, in France they did, yes. So what about Ursula von der Leyen? Is she going to get another term as president of the European Commission? Now, she needs a simple majority of 361 seats, 361 out of 720 MEPs. Now, on the face of it, the maths are in her favour, because if you take the EPP plus Renew Europe, plus the SND, she does get over that threshold of 361. So, but that's very much in theory, because those blocs are not all obliged to vote with their bloc. So, for example, Les Républicains, the Conservatives in France, they've said all along, we're not going to vote for Ursula von der Leyen for a second term, even though they're part of the EPP. So in theory, they should. Will that really change anything, given that they didn't have a very good showing last night? We'll have to see. But my point is, these blocs are not monolithic. They don't all have to go the same way. So it's not impossible that Ursula von der Leyen might also have to look elsewhere. And this is what your guest, Asita Kanko from the ECR, was saying a few minutes ago, that it's not impossible that Ursula von der Leyen might need the ECR. And remember, last time Ursula von der Leyen got over the line by just 9 votes. So we don't know how close it's going to be. It could still be a close run thing. We're going to have to see in the next few weeks.
Right, it's going to be really interesting here in France and at the EU level as well. Armen Georgian, thanks very much indeed.